So I saw this video that explored the edges of Skyrim's map. Normally, you probably wouldn't think to find anything interesting because it's where the map ends. It's the hidden barrier of the end. Surprisingly though, there were many locations that were noteworthy. So this all made me think, what if I did this too, but in the hit game Wuthering Waves? What can I find if I journey the edge of WuWa's map? And so I did. I explored the entire border of Wuthering Waves and surprisingly found 13 points of interest. And so we begin in the Gorges of Spirits, adventuring clockwise. You can find a small lake that I like to call the Waterfall Lake. This is because there are multiple waterfalls connected to this small lake. This water mass honestly gives me good vibes. It feels rather peaceful to look at. It also makes me a bit curious. How far does this water go? You can see that it does lead to somewhere unknown, unexplored. Perhaps we will know in the future. Continuing our journey, we can come across yet another waterfall. This one you can actually see where it comes from, where it begins. But what's interesting about this one is the landforms around it. Did it used to be some kind of cave? The mass that is slightly hovering above the water makes me believe it created some kind of dome. I'm not one of geology or geomorphology, if that's what it's called, but I probably have no idea what I'm talking about. However, the unknown land that's around this whole spot makes me curious to where it all leads to. Some distant city? Mingting perhaps? At least we know it probably will lead somewhere eventually, since Huanglong actually has multiple cities. But do you know where it does lead to? I'm sorry, I honestly can't figure out a way to put this rather nicely in the video, but guess what, viewer? Thank you, LD Shop, for sponsoring this video. LD Shop is where you can purchase Lunite or other in-game purchases with a discount starting from 15% off. Just head on over to ldshop.gg, select your language and currency, then log in, select Wuthering Waves, and select what you're getting. For an easier top-up process, I recommend to connect your email to your Kuro Games account, and to show you the process, I will be purchasing the 300 Lunites bundle. Click top up, select your preferred method of purchase, then fill out the requirements. Afterwards, you'll have to fill in your game information. You can choose Kuro Games login method, put in your correct email and password for that account. Next, fill in your username and server. After all that, it should look like this. Click submit and bam! Now you have to wait about 5 minutes. After waiting, go back to Wuthering Waves and there, I have received my 600 Lunites. Yes, 600 because the first top-up bonuses actually can be activated on LD Shop. Rest assured, LD Shop is 100% safe and reliable. They have mostly 5-star reviews on Trustpilot for a reason. And if you're still unsure about using your login information, they have a method where you can use your UID and server. If you have any more problems, don't worry, they have great responsive customer service and also a Discord server. You'll get your problem resolved easily. Currently, new registered users will receive a 15% off coupon and another 5% off coupon, which could save you up to $30. And if you wanted to blow thy load even further, if you spend $80 in a month, you'll be able to claim one of the free game passes. And if you invite friends to complete an order, you will get 15% off each. That's right. So if all that sounds good to you, start saving today by clicking my link in the description. Thanks once again, LD Shop, for sponsoring this video. A bit further away, pretty much behind Jinzhou, I was flying across the sea and I found this small untouched land. Now this isn't exactly on the border of the map, but it is close and unmarked. Unfortunately, this location was outside the flying zone, so I had to glide and swim to it. I ran out of stamina, so I then had to eat stamina food a couple times, which all took a few minutes. As soon as I touched this untouched land, I felt proud. I feel like I might have been the very first human to ever set foot on this piece of mass. I journeyed to the top and had a beautiful sight. This is a really good spot to see the black shores in the distance, Mount Firman just over there, and Jinzhou next to us. A great perspective just from this location alone. With that, we moved to the black shores. I wasn't expecting to find much, to be honest, but to my surprise, while hugging the walls, I found a tiny area that actually had a hidden chest on it. Even though this place is on the map, it was never significant enough for me to ever come here during my exploration. But sure, I'll take this chest as a little treat, and if you guys watching need some extra astrite, just come over here. Further exploring the walls of Black Shores, I found nothing remarkable. The best I found was this rock in the Tethys Deep, just a little bit beyond my reach. The lone rock, untouchable by the human hand. It's so close, just right there. Yet there's nothing but disappointment in myself for being weak and incapable of ever reaching it. After my failure in the Black Shores, I fly beyond Mount Firman to find more failure in the form of beautiful mountains that almost cloud Rena Sita's view. I was was almost certain that I could reach these mountains. I once again hit a no flying barrier just a bit in front, so I had to glide and swim the rest of the way. After eating stamina food, I was able to face my failure once more. This time it felt worse. I was just maybe 100 to 200 feet away from setting foot on some glorious mountains. The lone rock is one thing, but a whole set of mountains is nothing but pain for my pathetic defeat. It's like this was my Vinland, but it's forever unreachable, immune to the disgrace touch of humanity. We continue our journey through Renacida, and surprisingly, it wasn't until Septimont where I found anything noteworthy. Just on the edge of Sanguis Plateau, I found this curious shape just in the water, and once again, unreachable due to the hidden barrier of the gods. Just what is it exactly? At first it looked like a 3D square, but with a perspective change, it looks flat and more like a hexagon. We continue hugging the barrier of Sanguis Plateau, and to be honest, there's not much to single out. In fact, this whole border in general is the most interesting. Massive land in the beyond, unexplored and unknown plains. What is out there? What life is there? Is there anything? Unfortunately, we can't do anything but wait for the future to answer us. Our journey takes us all the way back to Huanglong near Whining Ike's Mire. You can find a very bland arch of rocks. The only thing remarkable here is this weird line that splits across the sea. It is very curious, and I like to call this location where the world splits. Pretty dramatic, right? But at least the name has aura. Is this truly a split between the entire map? How far does it go? It's just super interesting that this line is this visible and it goes so far. Moving on with our clockwise adventure, there's a beach just south of the dim forest. This is probably my favorite location of the video, and I have named it the Manta Ray Beach. I never thought that throughout this whole exploration journey, I would be blown away by anything crazy. But in fact, for the first time in my Wuthering Waves life, I found that manta rays exist in this game. So when I was observing this beach, I thought it was rather unimpressive. And then I saw the beautiful sight of manta rays jumping in the water. My jaw hit the floor. I have never seen this before. It was so pretty, so peaceful. After a whole year, there was something new for me to see. And at this moment, I think my love for exploration got relit. When you go off on your own adventure exploring, unguided by the game, you can have a wonderful experience and find the most joyous things ever. Secrets and hidden gems like this wildlife that I never thought existed. Moving on from a place of happiness to a place of destruction and tragedy, the port city of Guayu. This city unfortunately faced the calamity of a lament, and the aftermath is rather depressing. The remnants of this city is actually really close to the border, but if we get closer, we can see the ruins of more buildings in the distance. This can give you an idea of how large this city actually was, and it's nothing but a reminder of how destructive a lament can truly be. But hey, even in the aura of sadness, a bit of that is lifted with some more beautiful manta rays swimming around this once great city, giving it a tiny amount of life in the darkness. We explore further to Hua Village, where we can find a pond nearby. I call this the Mushroom Pond. Yes, like the mushrooms from Minecraft, because I don't know if I'm just oblivious, but I think this is the first time I've seen these cows before. Or well, I think in this case, these would be bulls, right? But as you can see, these guys have mushrooms growing on their backs. I'm not sure why there's mushrooms growing on their backs, but hey, they seem to be peacefully enjoying this small little pond. And I think that's rather nice. We circle all the way back to the Gorges of Spirits, just a tiny bit away from touching the map's border. You can find where it all began. No, not where our exploration began in this video, but where our life began. Do you recognize it? This is where we woke up and started our WuWa journey. A small, somewhat enclosed area. You might think this place isn't really crazy or anything, but I think what makes this place special is the wonder. Why and how did we get to this spot? It looks like a crater. Did we fall from the sky, or did we just appear? And after a whole year of playing this game, it feels kind of strange to look back to this starting point and seeing where we are at now. Anyway, those are all the areas that I found interesting while edging the Wuthering Waves. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, how about a like and subscribe to see more? And how about following me over on Twitch to catch me when I'm live? I'd appreciate it. Thank you all for coming and watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!